Well, astonishing. That is how our creative services director, Rob Thomas, described his trip to Cypress Wetlands in the low country of South Carolina. And when you see what he captured, you'll understand why. Tucked into a Port Royal, South Carolina neighborhood with its Spanish moss charm sits a place where human engineering meets nature. Cypress Wetlands and Rookery, a place where the numbers and varieties of birds are hard to believe. And it looks like this every day. City leaders began restoring this refuge in the early 2000s, building little islands with cypress trees for waiting birds to nest, lay their eggs, and repopulate the area. And have they ever? The water was engineered to fill in from stormwater retention ponds. That serves as a moat, along with the alligators, to keep predators at bay. Cypress Wetlands is essentially a park, free of charge year-round, complete with boardwalks for terrific viewing, close enough to see, hear, and smell this place well. Herons, egrets, wood storks, ibises are everywhere. You see their nests, their babies, even some adolescent birds trying to decide whether to fly. By all means, bring your camera. You'll want to share this place with everyone you know. Cypress Wetlands and Rookery is about 3.5-hour drive from Greenville near Beaufort. It's free and open to the public 7 days a week.